Hello students, today we are going to start with the next system under the anatomy of cockroach, that is one physiological system, that is nervous system. Along with the nervous system we will see the sense organs also. Though we have already discussed the sense organs in the morphology part, but then also we will see it. First of all, come to the nervous system. If it comes to the nervous system, in case of cockroach, the cockroach have double ventral nerve cord. The nervous system is located on the ventral side. I have already told you in the circulatory system that laterally, whenever you divide the organism, then they have three sinuses. Towards the anteriormost dorsal region, that is known as the pericardial sinus, middle one, that is known as the perivisceral sinus, and the ventral side is known as the perineural sinus. So in the perineural sinus, they are going to have the nervous system. So remember that their nervous system is present on the ventral side. So this is very much important, where it is located in the perineural sinus. Okay, so it is present on the perineural sinus. Next one, see, they have 9 ganglions. Okay, so now what is ganglion? Ganglion already I have told you in the nervous tissue, in the structural organization itself, that whenever the cytons, they are present above one another vertically, then they will form a cluster of cytons of the neurons, that is known as the ganglion. So in case of this nervous system of cockroach, they are made up of lots of fused ganglions are there. So those ganglions are connected with each other, and there are a lot of questions they are asked, that why and how this is happening, that even if you remove the head, how the cockroach can survive, right? So see, in case of the nervous system, throughout the body the nervous system is present. It's not localized or centralized only in the head region. It's not like that. They're present in the head region also, thorax region also, and abdomen region also, and all of them, they will control the different other sides by the lateral nerves. So that's why if you remove the head region, if you remove the head completely, then with the help of the thorax and the abdomen, they can survive up to that period of time. They can survive without food, because the head, that mouth, that will help in ingesting the food, isn't that? So with the without the head also, they can survive at least for 1 week. So just see, if it is coming to the nervous system, yes, they are going to have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, so if it comes to the central nervous system, then what is present? So in the central nervous system, they are going to have one supraesophageal ganglion. So this is important thing, that they are going to have the supraesophageal ganglion. Now the next one, here this is the supraesophageal ganglion. This is the supraesophageal ganglion. If you can see, this is the supraesophageal ganglion. I have drawn the diagram in a large view so that you can see that they're going to have a ring-like brain. Okay. Above the esophagus, suppose here the esophagus is present. Above the esophagus, there is a bilobed ganglion is present, that is known as the supraesophageal ganglion, that is also called as the brain. And just behind the esophagus, there is another ganglion present, that is known as the subesophageal ganglion. So supraesophageal ganglion I have drawn here. So it is a part of the central nervous system. So in the central nervous system, the first part is the supraesophageal ganglion. So this is the supraesophageal ganglion. Then just behind that, they are going to have the subesophageal ganglion. So they are going to have the subesophageal ganglion. And to connect the supraesophageal ganglion with the subesophageal ganglion, what they are going to have? See here, the supraesophageal ganglion is connected with the subesophageal ganglion with the help of some longitudinal connectives. So they are being connected with each other, right? So this is one lateral connective present. Now after that, this is present in the esophagus region. After that, you can see that this subesophageal ganglion, they will actually extend. Okay, and you know that in case of cockroach, they are segmented animal. In the thorax region, they are going to have 3 segments, and in the abdominal region, they are going to have 10 segments. So in each thoracic segment, suppose this is the thorax, right? So suppose this is the thorax. In the thorax region, they are going to have 3 ganglion. Okay, so 3 ganglions are present in the thorax, and in the abdomen, suppose this is the abdomen. In the abdomen region, they are going to have 6 segmental ganglion in the all the 6 abdominal segments. So in this abdomen region, they are going to have 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and all of them, they are connected with each other. Okay, so just see in the central nervous system how many things are here. First of all, they are going to have the supraesophageal ganglion. This is the supraesophageal ganglion. Then after that, they have the subesophageal ganglion. This is the subesophageal ganglion. And to connect the supra with the subesophageal ganglion, they have some longitudinal connective. Now after that, this is present in the head region. Now from the supraesophageal ganglion, a number of nerves that will go to the different parts of the head. In the head, they have the antenna. In the head, they have the eye. In the head, they have the mouth, labium, labrum, maxilla, etc. So they're also acting as a sensory organ, right? So if it need to act as a sensory organ, they have to be connected with the nervous system. Brain, that means brain. So that's why you can see here in this brain region, from the supraesophageal ganglion, 4 nerves that will arise from this supraesophageal ganglion, that goes to the antenna part, to the eye, that is optic, another is labial, another is the cervical. So it's not that important, but yes, 4, that means on each side 8 nerves that will arise from the supraesophageal ganglion or the brain. Now after that, by this longitudinal connective, we are going to have this subesophageal ganglion. So this is the subesophageal ganglion. Here the subesophageal ganglion is there, and to connect it, we are going to have the lateral, actually longitudinal connective. Done. Next, after that, in the same central nervous system itself, what is happening in the thorax region? See, in the thorax region, what they have? They have 3 thoracic ganglion, isn't that? So they are going to have the 3 thoracic ganglion, and in the abdomen, they are going to have 6 abdominal ganglion. Okay, so 6 abdominal ganglion is present in the abdominal 6 segments, and in each thoracic segment they are going to have 3 thoracic ganglion. So as total, how many ganglions they have in the thorax and in the abdomen? 9 ganglions. Remember that. 3 in the thoracic region, they have 3 thoracic segments. So in each segment they are going to have the ganglion. Next one, in the abdomen region, they are going to have 10 segments, but only up to the 6 segments they have the ganglion, up to the 6th abdominal segment. Okay, so in the first 6 abdominal segments, they are going to have 6 abdominal ganglion. And to connect each ganglion, what they have? See, to connect each ganglion, what they are going to have? They are going to have the double ventral nerve cord. So they are going to have the double ventral nerve cord, right? Remember that. So this makes the central nervous system. So in the central nervous system, how many things are there? A brain ring, a ring-like structure. So this is the ring. You can see, first of all, the first bilobed ring, this is bilobed part of the ring, that is known as the supraesophageal ring. And after that, they are going to have the subesophageal ganglion. To connect this, they have the longitudinal connective. From the subesophageal ganglion also nerve, they are arising, and this PNS, that will comprise of all of the nerves, okay, that arise from the CNS, that are known as the PNS. PNS, that means peripheral nervous system, will comprise of all the nerves that will arise from the central nervous system. So this part, that are this nerves, and from each ganglion nerves will arise. Okay, that means from here the 3 thoracic ganglion, 3 nerves will arise. That will be more than that. Then from 6 abdominal segments, 6 nerves that will arise, isn't that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what they are going to have, the 6 abdominal segments, from that ganglion also nerve will arise, from the 3 thoracic segments also the nerve will arise, from the subesophageal ganglions also nerve will arise, and from the supraesophageal ganglion also nerves will arise. Okay, so this PNS that will comprise of the nerves itself. So that is about the nervous system. You can see in each segment what they have the ganglion. So this is one ganglion, this is another ganglion. I cannot draw all of them, so that is how we have drawn here also. Now after that, if it comes to the nervous system, remember it is present on the ventral side. How many questions that are important? See, the nervous system that is present on the ventral side. Now this nervous system is comprised of 9 ganglions, 3 thoracic and 6 abdominal. This is very much important. The nervous system, the brain, is actually one bilobed structure that is called as a supraesophageal ganglion, and just after the esophagus there is a subesophageal ganglion, and to connect the supraesophageal ganglion with the subesophageal ganglion, they are going to have the longitudinal connective, and after that from the subesophageal ganglion the spinal cord, that means the double ventral nerve cord, that will arise, and each thoracic and 6 abdominal segments they will have one ganglion, right? So that is about the nervous system of cockroach. Hope you have understood. This is very much easy. Now after that, come to the sensory organs. What are the sensory organs? Sensory organs means the organs who actually can take the environmental any of the stimuli and transmit it to the electrical impulse and convert it into electrical impulse, and that electrical impulse will go to the nervous system, central nervous system, and they will able to perceive the stimulus, they will able to understand the stimulus. So what will happen if it comes to the sensory organ, what they have seen, the first sensory organ is antenna. I have told you with the help of what they will search the food, right? So they have the tactile, that antenna that is acting as a tactile receptor as well as the olfactory receptor. If it is the tactile receptor, that means it is sensitive to touch, and if it is the olfactory receptor, it is sensitive to smell. Next one, the second one, this is very much important, that is eye. This eye is compound eye, and yes, they have the simple also, and this simple is called as the ocelli, okay, or ocellus. So this simple eye that will actually sensitive to the simple, only the intensity of the light, and this compound eye that is made up of 2000 visual unit, which is known as ommatidia. Okay, so they're going to have this ommatidia. So suppose this is the head region. Okay, so this is the head region. Now just in front of it they are going to have this simple eye. Okay, so one ocelli is there. Then after that, this is the simple eye. Okay, then after that they are going to have two large eyes. Okay, so what are they? These are the compound eye, and this compound eye, each eye is going to have 2000 visual units. They're called as the ommatidia, and each sensitive photoreceptor that is known as ommatidia. So if you can see the visual units, they are called as the ommatidia. So what will happen? Yes, if it comes to the sensitivity, okay, then sensitivity of the eye is not that much. Okay, so they have, if you see the eye, they are compound eye as well as simple eye. So you can see this simple eye that is called as the ocelli. This is the ocelli who is able to get the overall picture of the overall image of the object nearby them. And this compound eye, this is actually made up of 2000 visual units, and these visual units are surrounded by one sheet of iris. Okay, so that's why what happened, their image. Okay, so their image is not continuous. Like in a graph paper, suppose this is the graph paper, we can draw one human. Okay, suppose this is one butterfly. Okay, suppose this is the butterfly. So each omatida will take up only that specific part. Okay, suppose this omatida will see only this much region, and this omatida will see this much region, this omatida will see this much region. So this way what happened, their vision will look like a mosaic vision, just like it's in a graph paper. Okay, so that type of vision is called as the mosaic vision. Okay, remember that this is going to be mosaic vision because of 2000 visual units. The omatida, they're covered by a sheet that is called as the iris. So because of that, actually the light will not go entering into the omatida as a overall light. So the light partly will enter, and that light that is entering, only that segment of the object they can see. Right, so that is the compound eye. Compound eye is the omatida because that have the mosaic vision, and 2000 visual units are present. Then simple eye, this is a simple eye, that is called as the ocelli. Now after that, just see the next sensory organ. The next sensory organ is maxillary pulp or the labial pulp. So in the mouth region, they have the labium and the labrum, which are the upper lip and the lower lip. Because this mouth will help in ingesting the food, so it's also acting as a sensory organ. Okay, so they are also the tactile receptor. They are sensitive to touch. Next one, the anal cerci, which is present here on the posterior most region. Both male and the female, they have the anal cerci, and only the males, they have the anal style. So anal style is present only in the males, and anal cerci is present in both males and females. So this anal cerci, which is acting as a sound, that means they can hear, and vibrations. So they understand, they can hear also. So sound and vibrations, that senses, that will be understood by the anal cerci. So these are all about the sensory organs. From that, eye is important. So this eye is going to be important. They have the compound eye. So if any change in the movement, in the locomotion of the object, they can readily understand that. Okay, why? Because they have the mosaic vision, because of what, the image that are appeared just like in a graph. So in each segment, whatever the movement is occurring, they can perceive it readily. Right, and because of that, actually they can able to sense properly. Right, so that is going to have the mosaic vision. Simple eye is the ocelli, which will help in taking the proper image, because this compound eye will help this organism not to see, just to understand what type of changes or movement occurring in the object. So that's why to see the object, they have this ocelli, that is a simple eye. So that's all about the nervous system. Hope you have understood. The nervous system is located in the subneural space. They have 9 ganglions, 3 in the thoracic and 6 in the abdomen. They have a brain ring. Brain is the supraesophageal ganglion, and then just after the esophagus, they have the subesophageal ganglion. They are connected with the longitudinal connective, and they have a long double ventral nerve cord which will connect the ganglions throughout the body. So the nervous system is present throughout the body. From the central nervous system, the nerve will arise that will comprise of the PNS or peripheral nervous system. So that's all about the nervous system. I hope you understand that. Thank you so much.